It's hot.
It's hot. It's actually not very hot right now.
It's not. It was very nice and chill outside.
Yeah, had a little chill, but it wasn't too cold. It was nice.
I feel like if I was going to describe it, I would call it maybe almost jacket weather.
Almost jacket.
Almost jacket weather.
I would say it's almost like hoodie weather. It's hoodie weather.
Well, to me, jacket and hoodie weather is the same thing, so... I just like to call it jacket weather because it's easier to say.
Hoodie's an easy word to say. It's a hoodie.
You're not wrong. But it's hot for the Light Music Club.
Yes, they're sweaty.
They indeed are. We're going to talk about a hot episode today here on Jared and I Watch K-On! Episode number 25.
Nailed it.
As we talk about season 2, episode number 11, called Hot.
Hot.
I'm Jared, that is Doc L and Ladium.
Hello.
I feel like if there was any episode that we have done recently that really encapsulates the slice of life nature of this show,
Yep.
This is it.
Yep.
It is literally an episode about them being hot.
Yes.
And that's basically the crux.
Yeah, so it is now summer in our fair Japan, since this is Japanese weather, remember?
Yes, I do remember.
Yes. We were told this a few episodes back. It was Japanese weather. And now Japanese weather says that it's hot. And so it's just all about them suffering in the club room being hot and how they're dealing with it, which is not well.
They got all the windows open and they're still just dying of heat. They're literally soaked in sweat.
They're fanning themselves, but then when they stop fanning themselves, there's more hot.
It's just a bad time all around.
And, what are you doing? Okay. Anyway, continue.
You were the one talking, so...
It's hot.
Yeah, it's hot. There you go. So we begin this episode with your favorite song, Fua Fua Time.
I like this song. I'm just mad at it.
Keep in time or else you're boned when you're playing the song on the game. Yeah, too bad. Fail. Game over.
It's so hard. I must have failed it 40 times. I'm pretty sure I've gone up 10 since last time I said I failed it.
It's going to keep getting escalating and escalating and escalating.
And it's going to become that big fish. Mm-hmm. I failed Fua Fua Time 10,000 times.
They finish it and then Yui's like, whoa.
Too hot for practice.
Too hot. Mugi gives her a wash rag. That's wet. Puts it on her head. Mm-hmm. Like, here you go. Azusa gives her water, and Yui's like, Azusa, my face is hot.
They're basically melting.
They are literally melting.
They're not literally melting.
Literally melting.
That would be a mess.
Mio talks about how having long hair is a detriment when it's hot.
I said put it up.
And literally, immediately after you said that, they're like, why don't you put it up?
And then they turned it into Neon's hair. And then Ritsu said it looked bad.
She chokes her.
Yeah.
Following this, they realize that Tonchan's like looking weird. And then Mugi's like, he's molting.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I think it was Yui who said that they...
Oh my god. Max, buddy.
Oh, he just bonked his head really hard.
You're gonna have a concussion.
Yui thought that he had a sunburn. Is he trying to get his own tail?
I think he's super startled. He did just bonk himself.
But yeah, Yui thought that he had a sunburn, but he is actually molting.
That is very true. And then Yui's like, well, what if we just molt? What if we shed our skin?
Time to become bathing suit
people. And they're
people.
like, you can't do that. It's like, yes, I can. Here's my swimsuit.
And she keeps asking people to join her, and the only one who does is Mugi.
Yep, because of course.
Which I think it's so funny that Mugi, like, every once in a while, Yui has this weird idea, and she's like, alright, I'll join in. She's the only one that does it. But she does it pretty regularly. It's pretty funny.
She's down for whatever anyone has.
She's like, this is fine.
Idea-wise. They try to lay on the desks because they think it'll be cool, and it doesn't. Azusa puts her face against the tank of Tonchan's and is like, nope, this isn't cold either.
Nope.
So they get back in their uniforms, and Azusa's like, well, if we sweat, we'll lose weight. And Mio and Mugi are like, huh? And they go and put on the animal costumes.
You try to play, it's like, bah, 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 bah.
They're like, we will sweat a lot in these. And they do, that just doesn't sound like it'd be fun.
But they can't play.
Ritsu instead is like, what if we play a word association game with Hot Summer? They all take turn guessing, and then Ritsu tells everyone the answer, which is just, hey, scary stories.
Yep.
And she tells a scary story of a student coming into the school, hearing strange piano playing happening in the music room. What could it be? She opens the door, and it's Miss Yamanaka tutoring a student!
Ah!
And then Mio gets scared, and she falls backwards in her chair and bonks Ritsu.
And then she's like, why am I the only one that got bonked? She's like, because you were the one who told it.
Because that's always what happens. Ritsu and Yui try to fan themselves to keep cool, and they're just like, oh, that's too much work. Mugi comes up with the idea of using mind over matter. It's less hot if you don't think you're hot.
Think that it's cold.
Yes.
And so Ritsu and Yui are like, it's cold. We're in Antarctica. There's a penguin and
There's some
two
bears.
polar bears. And it's cold. It's cold. It's cold. Oh, God, there's the sun. Oh,
It's cold. It's cold. And the sun's more hot.
It's hot. No, it's over.
And they fail.
Yep.
Mia remembers that she brought a fan.
Well, that there was a fan when
the
she
storage
cleaned
room?
the storage,
Yes.
when they cleaned the band room, and it's old.
It's very old. So they're gonna try and practice while the fan breezes on them.
It oscillates.
It oscillates. Yui is walking with the oscillation at one point. And then they move it to the side, and 4 of the 5 members get the air, and Ritsu's in the back like, hey, I don't get air, what are you doing? She basically goes and takes the thing, puts it in front of her, hits the max speed, and sits in front of it while it cools her, but then it literally breaks.
And then the fan goes flying, and then they make like a little funeral section for it.
They make a memorial for the
They
fan.
make a memorial for the fan. I know Mugi brings like a box of ice at one point.
She was going to make shaved ice, but she forgot her shaved ice machine, so she's like, here's some ice, guys.
So they put their feet in it. And by they,
you mean Yui and Ritsu.
Yui and Ritsu, and then they fight over who's going to get more ice once it melts.
Yeah, so like, it's lukewarm. Go get some ice. No, you go get some ice.
Yeah. And then they spill it, and there's a couple pieces of ice. They're like, it's a waste of ice. We should put it in the tank. And Azinyan's like, no!
He's got a thermostat!
Don't do that!
No!
He was like, I was joking. He's like, it's hard to tell when you're joking.
And she also reads the book and it's like, this also says, though, that if they're trying to get bigger, we need a bigger tank. And Mugi's like, ooh, we have a big tank at our house that's not being used. We could bring it in. And they're like, we know someone who has a car. It's Miss Yamanaka.
Miss Yamanaka has a car.
They go to the faculty office and they're like standing there like looking at her and she's like, what? And they're like, it's cool in here. We're gonna drag you to our club room where it's hot. She's like, oh God.
And Mugi keeps giving her like cold things in order to keep her there.
They're like, hey, you should do this for us. She's like, no, it's hot. I bought a root beer float for you. And she's like, okay, let's go. So they wait outside for her to bring the car around, and then they're like, all right, well, who's gonna go with her?
Eventually, they like threaten to throw her out and put Ritsu in as the driver.
Do you want to replace Miss Yamanaka? Seriously? Like, hey, I'm the one driving.
It's my car!
Miss Yamanaka, you should have bought a bigger car.
Yeah, Yui dunks at her about her car choice.
It's like, I didn't buy the car for you in mind. Thank you very much. They realize Mugi has to go, and then Mugi's like, oh, but it's a big tank, so we might have to lower the back seats. I'm like, oh, okay, bye. So she's the only one who gets to go, and she's very excited. She gets to drive around in her teacher's car and be in the front seat, and
She like
smacks
slams her face
Yeah.
into the dashboard and sees the marriage charm that Yamanaka bought like a few episodes back. Asks her what it is, and she's like, it's a charm.
It's a good luck charm.
So they get this new fancy tank.
They do. They bring it back. Miss Yamanaka is like, oh, it was so lovely. I will be making more home visits more often. Mugi's like, yes, thank you for your help.
Yep.
They put Tonchan in it.
New tank.
New tank. They realize that like the sun's hitting it, so they're like, oh god, we gotta do something.
Oh, I was so worried.
They're like, they're gonna put tape on the tank.
I thought they were gonna tape the tank because they're like, we have tape. We can make it so the sun doesn't come in. But they taped the corner of the window. I'm like, oh, thank God.
They were smart.
Yes.
So like, hey, Miss Yamanaka, could you get us an air conditioner? And she's like, why don't you talk to the student council about that? So that's what happens. So Yui and Ritsu go to the student council office. They run into Nodoka, and it's literally them doing a skit where Ritsu's like, Yui's dying of heat exhaustion.
And then another skit where she's like, do you want a gold air conditioner or a silver air conditioner? And Yui says, I just want a regular air conditioner. Oh, the piety of this person for just wanting a normal one.
Nodoka's just standing there like,
What are you guys doing? And then they accuse her of abusing her student council powers for getting her own air conditioner. And she's like, no, all the clubs are supposed to have air conditioners. We talked about this in the student council president meeting. And she's like, what?
And then Ritsu's like,
apparently she hasn't been going to the meetings ever.
So they basically are like, okay, well, I'm gonna go to the one tomorrow. I'm gonna bring this up. I'm gonna see if they'll do it. And the rest of the group basically preps her, like gives her practice.
Arguments.
And the first time they're like, yes, I would like to get an air conditioner for the light music club. Anyone in favor? All the hands go up. And Mio's like, we can't. You have to have arguments. And then the arguments are like, you should have been here the first time. We can't do that. And also like, they never practice. They don't need one. They don't deserve it.
And so Yui ends up like nailing it on how to talk about it. She's like, it's about the camaraderie and classes going from like, or cross class communication, some friendship, and also
everyone's like impressed, like, wow,
Yui, you said something smart.
And then we get to eat snacks and cake and tea. And
Shut up!
Like, oh no,
go to the beach.
No. Basically they prep up Ritsu really well, and then we cut to the next day where she's at the meeting. She's like, yes, I would like an air conditioner for the light music club. Nodoka's like, is anyone
opposed?
And everyone's just like.
And then the treasurer is like, well, we've already used our budget.
Nodoka's like, well, we could replace the copier next year.
If we get
There's a convenience store down the hall. Down the way.
Down the hall. So they decide that they could just get a copier next year, and that they can have the air conditioner. And she's like, what? Really? No arguments?
This is it? This is it? I thought there was going to be more resistance. Oh, God.
And the funny thing is that they do a visual, I guess, trick with the episode is it's very, very dark when it's hot. And then once they have the air conditioner in there, everything's like bright. Yeah. Super bright, and they're very, very happy, and they're like, we're gonna perform, this is gonna be great, we're gonna practice. And then apparently Yui is like nauseous when it comes to air conditioning, which I didn't know that was a thing that could happen, but
apparently so.
She can't deal with air conditioning. They're like, oh no.
Then yeah, that's how our episode ends.
Hot.
It was hot, now it's cold.
Yeah, and now Yui's suffering. Yui never stops suffering.
You win some, you lose some.
Well. So yeah, that's all.
You can't legally say the rest of that.
Huh?
You can't say folks there after that.
I wasn't going to.
Okay, good. We don't need to get sued.
I'm not Porky the Pig.
There's a good joke in the new Spider-Man movie where Spider-Pig literally says that, and Miles is like, can he legally say that?
Oh my god, I need to watch that.
It's really good.
I still need to watch that.
But yeah, that's the end of this episode. Next time we will be discussing season 2, episode number 12. It is entitled Summer Festival, or on the Verve app, it's called Summerfest. So I don't know who's
accurate here.
Who's accurate here. Also, I believe this will be our last episodes with the current opening and ending.
I'm thankful for that. I'm very thankful.
That should be the case. I'm not 100% sure, but I feel like if it's 24 episode season, 13 would be the kickoff for the second opening and ending.
I hope so.
So yes.
The first one's so chaotic.
Oh.
It's so fast and chaotic, and I say that as somebody who legitimately likes fast music sometimes, most of the time, but not this one. Too fast, too furious, too chaotic.
That's a bad movie, so.
Never watched any of those movies.
I mean, Tokyo Drift's really good.
Oh my god.
It's a really good film.
Oh my god.
Look, you're in control, you're out of control.
Oh my god. I'm sorry that you guys had to hear my cat get a concussion in the middle of this podcast.
That's the nature of the beast, apparently.
You okay, buddy?
He put himself in jail because of that. God, poor buddy.
He bonked his head hard.
He did. But that's going to do it for this episode. If you would like more from us, go to seasonallycheckup.com or sec.cool. It's where you can find past episodes of this podcast and other podcasts like Seasonally Checkup and Seasonally Checkup OVA. You can find columns and reviews on the site as well. If you like more from Anladium, go to anladium.com. She's got columns and reviews. And you can follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/animecheckup is where we do the Twitter. So next time we will be discussing episode number 12 of season 2 called The Summer Fest. Or Vol.
Evil.